At 27 years old, Connor McDavid is on his way to having yet another MVP caliber season. 5 months ago, the man was 114th in NHL scoring, and today, he's right behind McKinnon and Kucherov for the league lead. McDavid gave the entire NHL a head start, and it still wasn't enough. The man's game is evolving, and with him closing in on 100 assists in a single season, we're witnessing greatness that hasn't been seen since the GOAT himself. Connor McDavid has been the NHL's most evolved player for years now, but with him getting 100 assists in a season, we're seeing the next evolution in Connor McDavid's play, and it's creating history. Last year, McDavid's game went to another level by working on his goal scoring. He openly admitted on the 32 Thoughts podcast prior to the season that he actively studied players like Pastrnak and Matthews when it came to scoring goals. The result was McDavid going off for a 64-goal season. Mechanically and positionally, McDavid changed a few things which we covered in our breakdown last year, but the primary shift was in his shooting mentality. McDavid, by nature, is a playmaker first. Just looking at his stats through the years shows his preference on any given play, but in a year where his goal scoring has been reduced, McDavid is facilitating better than ever. First, let's start with the power play, as he leads all NHL players with 35 power play assists on the season. In all situations, the Oilers' systems are built to maximize McDavid's touches. The Oilers' power play is the best example of this, as everything runs through him. On the entry, the Oilers use a single drop back to McDavid so that he can use his video game-like speed to burn most of the killers in the neutral zone. Now, once they're set up in the offensive zone, McDavid can literally create a play on every square inch of the ice. Most of the best power plays and players in the world usually have set positions or offices on the power play where they do the most damage, but for McDavid, the Oilers give him and the rest of the power play the green light to continuously rotate and switch spots. McDavid is primarily placed on the left flank where he can roll high and attack downhill with speed to give him three options on the attack. First is a space for a shot option, second is the cross-ice option to find Draisaitl, and third is to find Hyman on the doorstep for a net front play. This option alone is enough to drive teams nuts, but the Oilers allow McDavid to roam freely around the zone on the power play to constantly create different looks. Off the face-off, McDavid usually starts off on the right point. As Edmonton gains the puck and feeds McDavid, he uses his speed to aggressively attack downhill and catch killers by surprise, and it usually results in a backdoor set play to Draisaitl or Hyman. Even when you watch how he lurks into the middle of the ice on the power play, it truly shows how dynamic his playmaking ability really is. Great power plays are all about creating options, and once again in the middle, Edmonton gives the best playmaker in the world all kinds of unique looks. McDavid would usually shoot on this play, but because his shooting threat now demands the utmost attention from goalies and defenses, it's given him the opportunity to make the extra pass. Now, when even strength, the Oilers are fourth in scoring, and they're first in the league when it comes to expected goals when 5-on-5. Where the elite players do most of their damage is off the rush, and with Connor McDavid's speed, he's the most feared player to defend on the transition. As we've seen countless times in his career, if you gap up on him too tight, he will throw on the burners and cook you wide. If you cheat to avoid making the highlight reels, he will take the given space and use it to his advantage. Last year, McDavid exploited this space brilliantly and frequently opted to shoot the puck in the space given. This year, McDavid's offense has evolved by actually slowing down his attack. On this turnover, McDavid is going to take what the defender gives him. The gap that the defender makes here is enough to cut off McDavid's speed advantage. So instead of picking up the puck and trying to use his speed, McDavid takes a calculated approach and slows down his attack to let his two players gain the line. Now that the play is more developed, the right play makes itself more apparent. McDavid's reputation alone sucks in defenders, and with one pass, he's created a 2-on-1 opportunity for his teammates that end up in a goal. On this play here, just look at the space McDavid has to potentially use his speed to burn these two defenders. But again, by slowing down his attack and waiting for the play to develop, he recognizes that two Chicago defenders are converging on top of him. He stays patient and sends an area pass over to Nugent Hopkins, who's been left wide open. If defenders do a good job of closing off the space on McDavid during the rush, he likes to use a quick stop-up to create a moment of separation to find the trailer on the play. It's nothing revolutionary by any means, but it's the pace at which he can make these decisions which put him in a league of his own. Just when defenders think that they have an upper hand on McDavid, he takes what they give him and he uses it against them. For a player whose speed strikes the fear of God into players off the rush, the fastest player in the world has become equally as dangerous by slowing down his game. Now in the offensive zone, McDavid's speed is constantly being leveraged through Edmonton's systems. When the Oilers have sustained pressure, they frequently run tiny scissor routes around the perimeter to create problems for coverages. But with McDavid's first 3 steps when accelerating being faster than anyone on the planet, a well-timed route allows him to quickly attack the middle and give him and the Oilers grade A looks. When the Oilers have an offensive zone draw on McDavid's strong side, they implement a set play which gives their best player more options with the puck. When McDavid wins a faceoff, he instantly takes off on a route behind the net. One winger goes high, the other goes to the net, and the Oilers swing the puck D to D as McDavid arrives open on the other side of the ice. Now when he gets the puck down low here, he's got options. He can swing up high and attack the middle if there's open space. He can hold possession and then drop it to another player hitting the scissor route. Or he can use his spin move upon reception and shake off a tight check and attack the net instantly. With one set play, the Oilers give McDavid a variety of choices for him to attack. McDavid is facilitating more than ever before because he's got more options more than ever before. Combine that with Zach Hyman burying everything he touches, and you got offensive production that we haven't seen in years. Now where I think McDavid's game has vastly improved since he's entered the league is away from the puck. McDavid's work on the defensive side of the puck has created more offense for the Oilers. Here, watch him use his speed to negate a 3-on-2 rush for Calgary and then give a perfect stick lift to break up the play. The Calgary player obviously wants to kill him for that, but he takes a hit to advance the puck up ice and it turns into a goal. As Edmonton has gotten more comfortable in their defensive system, McDavid has been in the right spot for support to transition up ice. On the forecheck, his tenacity and timing causes turnovers that allow Edmonton to quickly strike on offense. Then there's simply the unexplainable. The plays that even when you try and break it down, you still ask yourself, how the hell did he do that against the best players in the world? All of these little factors have contributed to a historic season for Connor McDavid. Only 3 players in history have ever had 100 assists in a season: Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux, and Wayne Gretzky. It's been done 13 times, and 11 of them were Gretzky, with the last coming in 1991. And although Connor McDavid currently stands as the favorite to reach the milestone first, Nikita Kucherov sits at 90 assists with 6 games left in his season. Kucherov's playmaking is a completely different animal that deserves a video on its own, but one thing is for certain. For either one of these players to reach this milestone, it means that we're witnessing some of the greatest individual seasons in NHL history.